Back from Copenhagen, and I am broker than I have ever been before. That was the most expensive trip I have ever been on. Like, there was no way I could have prepared myself for that. I think I would have needed to save for like at least 2 years. It was so expensive, and it took every last penny from me and my boyfriend. But do you know what? It was worth it. It was an amazing holiday. Dare I say, it was my favourite holiday I have ever been on. It was so good. So I did not talk pretty much at all through the video, and I really apologise for that. I'm just not very good at recording in public. I just find it so awkward, and I hate being an inconvenience to people, so I did not really speak at all. So we tried to go to a yarn store pretty much every day. We didn't want to do it all in one day because they are actually quite spaced apart, which I was not expecting. I thought they were like more clustered together. So whenever we went to a new area, we would sort of just look for any yarn stores in the area. And day one, we went to Copenhagen, which was the only yarn store I actually did not buy anything from. And there was nothing wrong with the store. Like, there was so many nice colours, so many brands. There was Knitting for Olive, there was Sandus Garn, there was everything. There was loads. There was hand dyed, hand spun. There was books. But I was prepared to spend money in there until me and my boyfriend started calculating how much things would cost, and then I realised I did not have enough money for as much yarn as I wanted to buy. So we left Summerfolgen, and I did not buy anything because I decided, do you know what, you don't need to buy something from every yarn store you go to. So I just sort of waited until I found something that I really, really loved. So day two, what did we do day two? Day two was so rainy. Like, the weather was crap the first 2 days we were there. Like, it was torrential wind and rain, but that didn't stop us. We literally got on them Lime electrical bikes, and we was just powering through it. We got so wet and cold, but honestly, core memory, it was so good. We loved the Lime bikes, and if you go to Copenhagen, I really recommend you get them, because not only are they like electrical and they get you to places quicker and cheaper, but they are obviously a more environmentally friendly way of getting around, and it's cool just to sort of ride your bike around, because obviously the city is very bike friendly, so it is really easy to navigate. You know, the roads are pretty flat, everything is bike friendly. So yeah, it was a really good experience. But we were sort of in the area where the Museum of Illusions was, because it was such a rainy day. We decided we need to do something inside. So while we was in the area, obviously we looked at what yarn stores were nearby, and this is where we found, or I don't know how to say this, old old Stede, old Stede. Anyways, I loved this yarn store. There was so much mohair, there was so much fuzzy fibers, there was samples. I don't know why, I just really loved this store. But unfortunately, they were restocking like a whole massive section of it, so I didn't get to look in the corner that was really catching my eye, just because I didn't want to get in the way. But I did actually make my first purchase here, and I got 6 balls of this Isaga soft 50% alpaca and 44% organic cotton in this gorgeous yellow. And I never really use yellow, but I was just so drawn to this. It's a bit thicker than mohair. I want to say it's a 3 weight, but I'm really hoping to make the Thelma sweater with this. I just think it would be so feminine and beautiful in this yellow shade. However, I'm not sure if it will be thick enough, so I will definitely be gauge swatching before I start the project. But I got 6 balls of this and it came out to about £50, so that makes it just under £10 a ball, which in my personal experience, that is expensive for me. Like, I'm not one to purchase super expensive yarn just because at the moment I am an apprentice, so I literally have no money at all. So £50 on 6 balls of yarn is a lot for me, but I was really drawn to this like straight away, and it's just such a nice yarn. I think no matter what I make out of it, it will be lovely. So yeah, I'm really excited to knit with this. And I think this is actually going to be the next project that I cast on. I think we actually visited 2 yarn stores in one day on this day. So we visited Alderstep, or however you say it, and then we didn't really know what to do next. So I was like, oh, let's just see what other yarn stores are about, because we were really enjoying the Lion Bikes. So the next store that we went to is Nicoline Garn. And the reason that I specifically looked for this yarn store is because everyone on TikTok was saying that it was budget friendly and they also had a lot of sales on. So we went there. It was quite a long way away. I wouldn't say it took us about 20 minutes on our Lion Bikes from our hotel. And this yarn store was definitely a bit cheaper. They had cheaper options. They also had glitter yarn, which I did not actually see in a lot of yarn stores, but I was really tempted to pick some up, but they just didn't have the colour that I wanted. I really want like a black glitter. So yeah, they definitely had a lot going on, but it was cramped in there. So I was a bit off put just by how, like, there was not a lot of people there, but there was not a lot of room to walk about and have a look at yarn. However, I did make my second and last purchase of the trip. I only made 2 purchases, guys, and that's because Copenhagen just took all my money. When I was going here, I had the expectations that I was gonna fill up a whole half of my suitcase to the brim, and unfortunately just didn't do that because it was so expensive there. I think on our first day I literally spent like £200, and we weren't even there for the whole day. We got there at about 12 o'clock. So this place definitely did some damage. But this was my second purchase. I got 4 balls of this Sadness Garn tin silk mohair, and look at the colour. I literally never work with pink anymore because a couple years ago I was so addicted to pink and it was literally all I wore. So I was a bit off put by pink for the longest time, but now I'm sort of dabbling back in the pinkness. This is the colour, it just says 4628. I'm not actually sure what I want to make with this. I saw the Jasmine Clutch, which is a crochet pattern, but I don't know if I have enough yarn for that because I only bought 4 balls, and I think you also need to pair it with a fingering weight. So I think I'm gonna have to wait on this one just to see if I can find a fingering weight that matches the colour, or I might do something else with it. Like, I got 4 balls, which I think could be enough for maybe like a tighter fitted sweater. So I'm holding off on this for now. But when I bought this, I did definitely have the Jasmine Clutch in mind, but I still need to sit on this and have a think. Also, I can't remember what the price came to for that because my boyfriend bought it for me, but I think it was about £34 total. which is almost £9 a ball, which is still hella expensive for me. Like, I am usually like a budget friendly knitter when it comes to yarns, but obviously I'm on holiday, so I'm gonna splurge a little bit. Everyone always tells you to go to Copenhagen for yarn, and don't get me wrong, there was so many yarn stores, probably the most I have ever seen in one area, which was just blew my mind, and I loved it. I also loved seeing just how many people were actually like into knitting. Like, I actually saw a woman walking down the street knitting as she's walking, and I was just thinking, I wish that was me. What the hell? So it was just sort of like a culture shock to see so many people who love the same thing all in the same area. So that was really lovely to see. Unfortunately, it just was so expensive. The Nicolene Garn shop definitely was the most budget friendly if you're not necessarily looking for luxury yarns, but I don't regret my purchases. You know, we didn't just go there for the yarn. We did Tivoli Gardens, which was absolutely magical. Like, it's one place that I recommend if you go to Copenhagen is Tivoli Gardens, because it was just so beautiful and amazing. It is really, really expensive, but I would say it's worth it. What else did we do? We also did do a lot of drinking and bar hopping, which was hella expensive, but we had such a great time, and I don't regret not buying more, because obviously we spent a lot of our money on memories, and at the end of the day, that's all that matters. If I was to give you advice for Copenhagen, I would just say whatever money you think you need, double it, because it's so expensive. But I had such an amazing time, and I'm so glad I got the opportunity to go. My boyfriend honestly spoils me so much, and this was honestly my favorite birthday, I think, ever. So if you're thinking of going to Copenhagen, just go, because at the end of the day, money is temporary, but memories last forever. So if you did enjoy this video, please make sure to like and subscribe, because I have just recently restarted my channel and it would mean a lot. And thank you for joining me on my journey, and hopefully I will see you in the next one. Bye.